So, welcome back, everyone. I'm really excited about this part of our conversation because we are joined by someone who been quietly but powerfully changing the way science get done behind the scene. So, our guest today is Steven Miller, the executive director and the founder of LabRenew, with more than 30 years of experience in energy efficiency and sustainable system. Steven had worked with multiple labs, especially small and mid-sized research teams, to help then we lower the environmental impact without sacrificing science. So today we are going beyond the basic. We are diving into the mindset shift, leadership dynamic, and even the common myth that hold lab back from becoming more sustainable. So let's jump in. Let's start with a fun one. What's one sustainability myth or misconception you hear all the time in the lab world? And how do you usually go about debunking it?
Yeah, the first thing that people, when I come in to meet with them, that they think that the preconception is that this is going to cost a lot of money. And actually, the way we approach it, the way Lab Renew approaches this, is we come in and we promote and share with them low cost and no cost solutions. So things that they can do that are going to cost no money or very little money and can have significant impact on the operations and the savings that they can get from these measures. So things like looking at their cold storage. What is the temperature settings? Can you increase your temperature a little bit and save a lot of money? Can you look at your biosafety cabinets? Can you make sure that you're operating in the standby mode when you're not using it? Can you look at your plug load equipment? Do you really need your water bath on 24/7? Really? So those are the type of small things that cost no money, have a pretty good impact, and allows you to begin the process of sustainability without spending a lot of money.
Great. Moving on to the second question. So you have done a lot of work with a small lab over the years. So from your perspective, what does the turning point usually look like? Like that moment when a lab really commits to making a sustainable change.
So what we guide our folks with is to do small things. Start small. Don't try to save the world right off the bat. So let's look at doing glove recycling. Let's look at putting composting in your kitchen. Let's look at the way you're managing your red bag waste. Those simple things that don't cost money but have significant impact on your operations and your cost, and you need to document it. You need to say, I cut down my red bag waste by 20% over the last month, and that generated $5,000 worth of savings. Document that stuff. And then you can present it to your team and say, this is what we've done. Let's take it one step further. Let's take the next step and do something else. But that's the term there, is that you've proven that you can do stuff that doesn't affect the science, doesn't affect the results, but it changes the way you have your impact on the planet.
Okay. Another interesting one. So imagine you had a blank check and could design the perfect sustainable lab from scratch. What are some of the non-negotiable feature or system you would absolutely want to include?
Every piece of equipment needs to be looked at. Every piece of equipment needs to be upgraded to either Energy Star or ACT label based equipment. That's really where it's at. I mean, the energy hogs of the systems, fume hoods, biosafety cabinets, cold storage. And then there's building stuff, HVAC systems, lighting systems, control systems that look at that. That's the big picture stuff on the energy side. I've looked at the way you're handling your chemicals. I've looked at your chemical inventory. Can we shift to green chemistry? And again, the big waste stuff. Can we really dive deep on the way you're handling your waste? Sometimes it takes an audit to understand fully what's happening to the waste when it leaves your building. And that sometimes costs a little bit of money. So that's the type of stuff. If you have an unlimited budget, the world's your oyster. It'd be a blast.
Hmm. Great. Another one. So we usually focus on what happened inside the labs, but how important is it for lab to also engage with broader community, whether the local government, university, or even the public?
Yeah, I thought about this a lot. I think that if you're going to engage outside of your facility, and if the reason for engagement is to share what the things that you've done, the positive things that you've done in those labs that affects people's lives outside of the building, it's the public. It's those community groups that are concerned about the environment, and you can share with them the things that you've done consciously to help save the planet. Universities and governments, they're all part of the mix. They're all important, but it's the local community. It's the local people, the people that are in your backyard, that care about what's happening to them because they see you there and they see the stacks and they see the stuff come and go. And if you could share with them that you're changing the way you look at things and making different types of decisions on how the building is being operated to the benefit of them, that's really powerful.
Speaking of providing stat to the public and engaging with the public, so when you work with a lab on improving sustainability, like how do you usually measure success? Like, are there like certain metric, behavior, or like a feedback loop you're looking for?
Yeah, there's two ways. One of it is the metrics. It's the numbers. It's the kilowatt hours,
Mm,
carbon. It's the pounds of waste. It's the gallons of water. Those are the numbers that are important. And you need to measure those. It's really important that you do that. But the real focus, the real important complementary piece to that is you have a team and the team's committed to this and they share what they do and they're invested in their efforts and they know that they're making an impact because you could grow that way. If you're just going after the metrics and you don't have team buy-in, you're not going to accomplish as much. But you have to have team buy-in, and that's as important as the numbers.
all right. So last one, and it's also the huge one. So in your experience, what role does leadership play in actually driving like sustainable change in lab? Like, can it work without top-down support, or does it always start from the top?
No, it always starts from the bottom, actually. You eventually need top-down support, but the roles and responsibilities of the executives generally don't worry about red bags. And
Mhm.
that's not their fault. That's just their role. But if you can go through a process of, again, starting small, building into doing some significant things, measuring metrics, measuring impact, showing that you have a team, and presenting that to management and saying, this is what we've done. We've been able to do most of it for free. We've taken a little bit out of our budget, and here's what we've done. Here's the impact that we've had on our operations on a whatever the number is, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And if we had a little bit of money from you guys, we could go even further. And this is how we project that. So showing that you've done the work, the homework, and presenting results and presenting the future is where you're going to get leadership buy-in. Leadership buy-in is critical if you're really going to make a huge difference. It's critical.
Mhm. Steven, thank you. It was really incredible, insightful. I love how you brought it all together with real world experience and the bigger picture. I'm sure everyone watching is walking away with idea they can actually apply in their own lab. And then for those who love our video, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment if you like. Thank you. All right.